Hello, Moi, Tervetuloa, welcome. Very happy to invite you all to my presentation today. I am Tanzida and I'm basically from Bangladesh. So we'll be discussing um, something about me and my experiences, and connected that will also be I will also be sharing information about Bangladesh. As I think you all know the name, the country name, Bangladesh, though it's a very small country, but we do have a very strong footprints when it comes to textile industry. So, and today's agenda, if I go a little bit more, then after that country context, we'll be moving to understand like the production country process and challenges in terms of garments production. And there I will try to cover two aspects. One is the how we are handling this post-industrial waste, the fabric waste, and the other one is water. And then we will try to connect the production world with the retail world in different metrics. And then I will also like to share what are the actions have been taken already to address those issues in the local context. So moving forward, as I said, that I am Tanzida, and I'm a textile professional. I worked for sustainability in the textile industry many years, and I have started my journey in 2012 in Bangladesh, Dhaka, within a sustainability team of a brand, European apparel brand named as H&M. And when I have started, that time it was Code of Conduct department where I have started as an auditor. And then over the time, I played in 6 different roles within the team. And the last role I acted upon on a program manager for environmental sustainability, and that means that I have taken care of the programs on the environmental priorities on behalf of H&M, and it's not only for Dhaka. As a regional office, we take care Pakistan, Dhaka, means Bangladesh, Pakistan, and Africa. So the programs were mainly connected to water, climate, and chemical, and also circularity. And before that, I handled the social and governance team also. So I led the agenda there, where my like for social sustainability, I was the program manager, and the programs that were very much like connected to the social was on wage management system specific, and then industry inclusion and diversity, and also like industrial relations was a very big and top priority for H&M in the production office like Bangladesh. And when I was acted as a supply chain sustainability manager, that role was meant to designed in a way that will be integrating sustainability into business, and that makes more like I think that's where the more this integration will be actually facilitating more conscious decisions when it comes to business strategy development. And the last role, if I go back again to the last role where I was, it was mainly for as I said, that the programs were mainly connected to climate, water, and chemical and circularity. So I would like to a bit share more about like what are the climate programs we dealt with. So on the climate agenda, it was more connected to the three priorities. One was the energy efficiency, and the next one was the renewable energy, and the other one was the how can we put the renewable fuel into the whole production process. So when it comes to climate in H&M, it was I believe it is still now a very top agenda within the production, because when you talk about the H&M public commitment, they are trying hard to manage that commitment by the timeline they mentioned. So they were looking into many different alternatives and collaboration on the ground, so that journey gives H&M like visibility, H&M's climate visibility on their climate journey. So when it comes to like energy efficiency, it was H&M had actually recruited a very like competent team on the ground, so that they go to the factory and assess the factory in terms of their energy efficiency opportunities. And then as the opportunities require investments, so H&M also like put their leverage to convince the factory management to invest for these energy efficiency opportunity implementation. And wherever is financial support is needed, they also actually H&M as a brand, they also provide a financial they also actually develop a financial wings for that, so that any financial crisis there or like any innovation or any new technology, if factory wants to trial on H&M, if there is a like good feature on climate GHG emission reduction, then H&M go there to actually do the collaboration on financial management also. So that was on climate side. And if I say about something on renewable also, renewable is a very like finding a renewable options is a very crucial when it comes to supply chain, because if you look in the like scoping around these science-based target initiatives or like any GHG emission reduction plan, then it's mainly the scope 3 who are actually which part the contribution is more coming from that part. So and scope 3 engaged basically the production. So when it goes for the renewables, it's very important that we got the right alternatives for renewable in the market. But looking into Bangladesh context, it's very rare in the country. We because our natural being natural gas as the main fuel in the industry, and that one is also subsidized from the government. So it was not easy to go for these natural gas replacement. But you have a very good potential on solar rooftop. So from H&M and from all the other brands, we were really pushing this agenda hard. So we had a very good outcome out of this all like push, and I think it will be better over the time. So on water, chemical, and circularity, I think I will give it a very high level. I will not go detail on that. On water, same as climate, we do have a water efficiency KPI and area to work on. Following that, water quality and water quantity was also in the priority. And then chemical was, as we H&M were actually our H&M is still working with ZDHC. That's a zero discharge of hazardous chemicals. This collaboration is really helping the brand to develop a guideline among for the factories to how they will actually go for the alternative chemical trial and like scale up. So around chemical, it was mainly to understand how how compliant the chemical management system is when it comes to production. And the last one, but not the least, the circularity. It's a big agenda right now. And with circularity, we also see that climate can also be managed to a like extent. So when it comes to circularity, it's about the fabric waste, the post-industrial fabric waste recycling, and also how can this brand can support the country to develop an infrastructure around it. So moving forward, what we'll do, we'll go a little bit context around Bangladesh so that you also know how this country looks like, right? Okay, those are very basic info on Bangladesh. Like Bangladesh is really a overpopulated country. If you compare to Finland, it will be like I believe that you can't actually imagine what the situation really there. So if you don't travel, I'll suggest don't plan for that now. You go a little bit detail. Let's go a little bit before that. So Bangladesh is basically the eighth most populated country with a very within a very small area. So the density is really high. And to be honest, our last population census said that we do have 173 million people living in the country in an area like 148,000 and 460 square kilometers. So where if you just ignore that part, I think the country looks nice, but when it comes to garments export, we are actually on the second top country who, when it comes to the export of ready-made garments. In that's data is from 2023. So we do have some good things to share also as a country. In Bangladesh, we have Bangladesh is home actually the world's largest mangrove forest named as Sundarban, and that's really a bit nice and beautiful place to travel and visit. And the following that, we do have a longest beach, and that's named as Cox's Bazar, next to the Bay of Bengal. And Bangladesh as a country is a riverine country. Within the country, we have more than 700 rivers, I believe. So it's a very wherever you go, you will see and get to see a river. And we have a very beautiful weather there. So Bangladesh is a land of 6 seasons, and where there is a very nice balance in terms of winter and summer. So the other thing I really would like to share that in Bangladesh we do have a very big amount of people living there, but most of them are active and young. Like 67% of the population are young and active, can be added as a workforce. So as from there, country as like Bangladesh is getting huge population dividend. And another unique thing is that we, as a country, Bangladesh, we do have the largest off-grid solar power program, where Bangladesh actually provided 5.5 million solar home systems in the rural area of the country where the grid electricity was not possible to connect. And as a country, Bangladesh is also the largest contributor in UN peacekeeping missions. Peacekeeping mission mainly in Africa. And we also do have the fastest growing economies despite of all the odds we are facing. So we from 2010 to 2023 we have a GDP growth like 6.4%. That actually gives us a status of one of the fastest growing economy in the world. So now moving forward, I think this is the map. Our national color is like green and red. So that represents the greenery of the country, and the red represents the actually blood what we have contributed to get our independence. So moving forward, how actually Bangladesh as a country is contributing in the textile industry is like in 2023 we actually exports for $47 billion garments. So that gives us the status of the second contributor from in the world. And garments actually accounted for about 85% of all export we have in the country. So that means that garments as an industry, garments is really big and very important to the country, in the country economy as well. Bangladesh stands top as garment exporter in terms of volume. So I think the thing what I want to share are like make things like you understand it's about volume, it's not value. So we really need to move towards value, not like looking into only the volume. And Bangladesh, there is also a business opportunity for Bangladesh if we look like if the country manage 100% of cotton-based waste, like this post-industrial waste, to be recycled within the country, then Bangladesh could retain like 1 billion USD business in the in the local market. And being RMD sector is really big for the country, so we do have a like higher contribution in GHG emission, also like carbon dioxide emission also from the sector, around 8%. And like the we have a generation of textile waste like 500,000 in a year. That's like 500,000 tons in a year. So that's a average number I'm referring here. So moving, like keeping that in mind, we'll be moving to like to know about the life cycle of t-shirt. I believe you know, everyone, this is a all the steps here. So it will be if we see like how these connected with like different phases, it's just overview for you to understand. So if we start from raw materials, then we know the what are the raw materials we are using for fabric production. So it's mainly the cotton or polyester or a blended of two, or some new materials are also coming in, like the biomaterials or recycled fabrics. Then the next stage is like fabric production. And I think fabric production is some stage where we need like natural resource more. So this is a very like resource intense process specific to dyeing and printing. Like also we have spinning and knitting in this stage. So following fabric production, once the fabric is ready, then we move for the cutting and sewing process. So that's a very like labor intensive process, I would say. And from this stage, we are getting the fabric post-industrial fabric waste. So I'll talk about this in the next slide. And if we move from there, then it's gone like it's out for the like this like distribution or destination. So then it moves like at this transportation and distribution part. And I think where we also have a big like large contribution from transportation on carbon emission. And then we move once this distribution done, then the phase like we go for go and buy the product, right? So then this stage come as a use and consumption. So that's basically on the consumer phase. So we have like usually I don't know, but there is a like a study I was reading through. They mentioned that in Finland per person they buy like more than 30 pieces of clothes yearly. So it's not very high, or it's also not very low. So maybe there is some opportunity to think about that. Then moving forward, the like once consumption is done, then the next step surely would be obviously the disposal. So and there it comes like how the post consumer waste coming into also recycling. So it's not that everything is going for recycling. There are other options, not healthy options, is also happening. So yeah, maybe that also can be a good part to think about. Um, yeah, some data are in the slides. If you feel, you can look it there. And I think the main like the circularity around the textile process would be much relevant if we can make or dispose all the garments in a way so that it goes back again as a raw materials to be used in the production. But we are not there yet. So moving with that, I was trying to actually identify two issues here. One is this handling of post-industrial waste in Bangladesh, and the other one is I'll talk a little bit about the water pollution in the country. So moving with this post-industrial fabric waste, what is the current practices? So as I understand from my experience and also from like different study, we are getting these post-industrial fabric waste into recycling at around 5% in the country, and then we are also using 35% of fabric waste into as a fuel for incineration boiler. But this is now actually many brands are taking their stand against this system. So probably this will be actually ended or phased out. These sort of boilers will be phased out very soon. And then the next big part of the post-industrial fabric waste is actually exporting to different other countries like India, Hong Kong, or China, like who again put them for maybe for recycling, maybe for like that part is yet to know. So we don't know what is happening there, but 60% like it's a big business for many of the organizations who are doing this. So it's not a very like um, it's we don't know yet. Actually, there is not enough transparency around this topic yet, like what is happening there. But as a country, there are some highlights here I would like to share. Like Bangladesh is not allowed actually to process any post-consumer waste. In only the we are only allowed to process our post-industrial fabric waste. So country like India and Pakistan, the neighboring countries, they have this facility also to facilitate the recycling around post-consumer waste, but we don't have. And the local recycling capacity is like approximately 80k ton, which can only cover 15% of the total produced wastage. So that's not enough. That's what everyone can see. And 75% of the fabric waste are actually cotton made. As a country, Bangladesh is doing a very like producing only the mainly the basic products. So it's mainly the cotton based materials we are using. And we don't have any regulation to actually handle these on-site incineration. What is happening in the factory using these fabric scrap? So I think this will be coming in very soon also. And we have a recycling technology available that's based on cotton fabric waste. So there is no technology available for blended materials. So that's another limitations in the country. And waste handling sector is very much like informal. We don't have enough traceability, or like the social risks are also a big concern. So brands are really working together with many different stakeholders to bring or like to put the traceability and transparency, and how this informal waste sector can be can be developed as a formal sector for handling the waste. So that's a big agenda right now in the country. And we really do see that strong need of formalizing the recycling value chain and strengthening their connection is important to this context. We have like inclusive policies are also needed. There is also like many stakeholders are also researching on this perspective and putting suggestions to the government to go ahead with that. And as usual, Bangladesh as a country is not very like rich, so investment support. If we want to bring some new technology, the investment support is also needed from other uh, stakeholders or countries. And I'll go a bit high level with country challenges in water, as we did a study on feasibility of like Greater Dhaka watershed with WRG 2030. That was from 2019. It's a bit old, but I think the context is still relevant. Like as you see in the slide, our major groundwater consuming sectors are agriculture, domestic, and industry, and garments is mainly coming into industry. So, like it's as the I would say like the industry is really developed around Dhaka. So the situation is a bit worse when the garments industry is located. So it's a bit zonal. And then the following is that it likely affects water availability in industrial zones at Savar, Ashulia, Tongi, and Narayanganj. Those are the area where the industry is developed, and also like uh, those are mainly it's in the Greater Dhaka area actually. And then some regions withdrawal is really exceed the groundwater recharge rate, and that results in groundwater table. And the last like groundwater level around Greater Dhaka is declining by 3 meters per year due to over extraction, and that's not a like very normal rate. So it's not helping anyway, but it's rather is like uh, it's creating a crisis specific to winter season in the country, as there is no rain in that season. So on water, we do have like two different issues. One is like water scarcity. That's from an industry perspective. Like one is we are taking groundwater, but at the same time we also have a surface water pollution, because we are also giving these treated or not treated like after use waters into the surface water, and that is creating huge pollution. If you look at the river in the picture, it's fully black, so that means that this water is really contaminated with huge loads of pollutants like dyes and the other chemicals. So these are mainly the two situation here. And there is another context on water recycling, wastewater recycling. Right now, I think it will be too detailed. I'll not go that. But for now, water scarcity in the industry part is a very like zone specific, and because we see in the graph also like the groundwater depletion rate is really high, highly connected to the freshwater consumption. That's what industry is doing. So I hope you got a bit idea about water. Now moving into this production, and like if we see a textile world, we can divide it into two different parts. One is production, that's a completely different world than the world we are like you are in right now in the this after production, like the purchase or the sale or consumption. So if you look in the production stage, it's like there are a couple of factors I try to mention here a bit, like the government policy, availability of raw materials, logistics or transportation, like post-industrial wastage is something is actually coming out from the production as a wastage, and that can also be used to create another business, but we are not yet there. and we need the skilled workforce, and we also having a very high footprint when it comes to availability of water and electricity and chemicals. So it's uh, these are the factors mainly affecting the production as a as a as a part. And if we look into these purchase or sale or like consumption world, it mainly logistics is highly involved. We also need a very like strong infrastructure. Nowadays, brands and the retailers are using this information technology, the artificial intelligence into business, and to identify the behavior of customers. And the post-consumer waste is another issue. What we know what to be done, but we are not yet there. We are not enough like we don't have enough awareness around that maybe. And there is another thing is really and heavily contributing like our purchasing behavior on purchase or this in this world. So it's always like it's promotions are all around us. So we even though we don't want to buy, but we buy somehow. So even though we don't need some cases. So this behavior is really influencing the whole supply chain or the like life cycle of a like the journey of a textile process. So if we stop buying, that will also be impacting our production, and if we overbuy, that will also be a like impact in different ways for environment for the production. So yeah, moving forward, I would also, I think we are at the end of our slide presentations. So I would like to share 4 examples what we did in the ground to actually support the environmental and social agenda and like goals or strategy from Bangladesh. So the first one is coming as a climate initiative where we have we worked hard and we achieved to actually effectively additional 40 megawatt peak of renewable electricity that comes from rooftop solar installation, and that actually comes up with also a very like high investment from the industry. So in the whole process, we did the we had a collaboration with ITCOL and also like GIZ. So these are the two organizations working also hardly, or sorry, working hard with the in the local context. So ITCOL is a local company, but they are really promoting this renewable agenda within different industry in Bangladesh. And CIZ is a German like German government's development corporation. So they are also helping to navigate different sustainability agenda. They are helping factories. They are also helping brands. So together with them, we the process was like we assess rooftop solar feasibility for selected factories. Then we go and ask them to do this installation, and hopefully like they manage this and that comes together. It's not like full supply chain, so there are still this agenda is still going and it's happening in the country. So it will be added more, but back into 2023 it was really like challenging to convince factory management into these investments. So I found this really I found this like good one to share. And the second one also like connected to climate, and what we did, we managed ourselves to do the first ever pilot program that on renewable energy certificates. So I think that's not a like direct investment, like not it's an investment, but that's not something you are actually investing directly on solar or like any physical instruments. So it's basically you are buying a certificate, and you can claim that you are using renewable for, like, you can share the data with the brands and other stakeholders. So factory is sort of an offsetting mechanism. And what we did, we managed to have a collaboration in between solar parks and REC service provider, and also like that time it was 12 H&M factories who actually contributed to this collaboration and arrangement. So it was like this 50,000 renewable energy certificate is nothing, if I really say it. But what with this case, what we want to actually share is that it's a like I'd like to share that it's a bold step what we have taken, but maybe with that process, some like other initiatives will also be actually coming. Because as a country, within Bangladesh, we don't have much options to try on specific to renewable context. So we try that with a good intention that it will be giving a good like collaboration, and also be going like also to give the courage to go try for something new. And following that, the other one I'd like to share is about the circularity around this textile waste management. So in 2022, we actually go for a application to get a fund from UNIDO. That's a like concern from European Union. So the fund that was approved, and as a like brand, it was like sort of a first application to get fund from some developmental corporation. So the fund was around 2.3 euro, and the project is still going on. The project named as Switch to Circular Economy value chains. So that was a very big collaboration happening right now in the country, and the main focus of this project was to actually develop a recycling market around like two stream. One is textile, and the other one was also how can we formalize the sector of PET bottle recycling. So that was another part, and I hope there, and as a team, H&M is looking for also some introducing some new technology around blended material recycling in the country through this project. So I hope that this will be a success. And the last but not the least, I will be sharing one more example. That one was actually connected to our social agenda on inclusion and diversity. So in garments industry, I don't know whether you have any experience there, but if you are in the floor, you will see that all like female led production. So if in the floor, it's 80% of the workers are female, but when you look at the supervisor, like who are leading the teams, they are mainly male. So we identified a big like imbalance in terms of this male to female ratio in supervisor level. So we, with the support from ILO Better Work, we made a program, and we actually designed a capacity building program and leadership program. We embedded soft skill and hard skill capacity development into this program, and we are like from our 15 factories, lastly we developed we found that 36 female workers promoted to the next level. So I believe that's a very like good achievement in terms of gender ratio balance in the leadership level in the factory, and that also actually gives an example of a example to, or proud to look into, or inspiration to look into for a female worker later on. So those are a couple of examples I wanted to share today. And I think I am at the end of the presentation. Kitos, everyone. Thanks a lot for listening me. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you have any questions, you can come back. I'm here. I can help you to explain. Thanks a lot.